Ghana's external payments position strengthened in the 2017 to 2021 period relative to the 2013 to 2016 years. For the first time in over 30 years, the trade balance, that is the difference between your exports and your imports, the trade balance recorded a surplus for 5 successive years, for the first time in over 30 years. We recorded surplus for 5 successive years. The trade balance was in deficit between 2013 and 2016, but moved from a deficit of 1.7 billion in 2016 to a surplus of 1.1 billion in 2017, a larger surplus of 1.8 billion in 2018, and an even larger surplus of 2.2 billion by 2019. The impact of COVID-19 has seen a reduction in the surplus to 2.04 billion in 2020 and a further reduction to 1.1 billion in 2021. Nevertheless, this is still a much stronger performance than the trade deficit of 1.7 billion recorded in 2016, which, ladies and gentlemen, the positive trade balances resulted in a narrowing of the current account deficit as a percentage of GDP between 2017 and 2019, but a subsequent widening of the deficit in 2020 and 2021 as a result of COVID-19. Even that, notwithstanding COVID-19, our current account position between 2017 and 2021 is much stronger than that between 2013 and 2016. Many questions have been asked about the state of the economy. These questions include: what has happened to the fundamentals? Why are the prices of goods and services increasing so fast? Why has the cedi depreciated so fast this year? Why has the fiscal deficit and the debt stock increased so much? What projects and programs does government have to show for the higher debt? Are the government flagship programs like free SHS the cause of our current economic challenges? How about the promise to move the economy from a focus on taxation to a focus on production? Where is the new economy that government promised to build? How has the government tackled corruption? What has the government done to relieve suffering of Ghanaians? And how is the government solving the current economic challenges?
Okay, His Excellency the Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, and Yekoti in Semnibia or the Etuja. My ancient command was a message free phone, so Nafia Yadia studio. How Dr. Edu Owusu Sakode, economist, or no, when Yaho Jumedi Esuyanenwa, Yaneno, and share and commono ase Nafia Yade Abadok, Otimenka, Yamache.
Mr. will be a.
But as a pombo cordie.
Adom, I won't try.
Yegusunga Kraka, Yahoo, Majidisa Uji break here, His Excellency the Vice President. As an economist, now expectations we take out, we see anyway, you know, Ebini Diana, and shots in free hot dog.
Mr. Osha say a Ghana stick a stem economy, no, a Jijakakra, and the also the head of economic management team, and the na Ghana phone in head, so all my make today. A DNSC, Nadia na all ya fa ho. I'm just we a driver on the driver or man economy on the driver on your team and a car not to time them. And see omo ya passengers Ghanaians don't be just adding a car not to time them. And see what church them nyoma ST dia na ma man nyoma bo ekosoro 10 times inflation no. Exchange rate so dia na ST and man come fall sa. And nyoma bebre. Ba expectation now, I think that largely all my expectations were met because what me addressing the issues, what me raise the many questions that now what the minds of Ghanaians and I addressed them. Before sending speech, you could actually infer from the Minister of Finance. So the Minister of Finance also named Central Pushia. Yeah. Actually, the good crime to solve the issue. And a president in his State of the Nation address also my hint about a new DNSC ama the abine so area for her. And to show you know, which means that Omi and Sakasani a cofa said there was consistency in all their speeches, the 3 speeches. And see, it will be some of my expectation that yes, economy Najija, a Nyoma Nkoye, a dear Nama Nyoma Nkoye. I am saying Omo Mutie that Omu here say Omo pocket any Omuko Joma Nyoma Bua Kosro. And one is here Ghana Ponina. Poor Bua Kosro, poor Bonso Kosra, and my transport to Bua Kosro. Oko Fatas in the Totro, and so I need Bua Kosro. Oh, call a Jomus Swat, the auto tomatoes say on also offer a car and Yatum, and so what in the tomatoes. And the Daniel Mano, and I'm not Ghana for the donor, actually, the moon said, a banner match reach the moon, and she Ghana for the DNS here and T. I'm at Nyoma Bo Ecoson Tentem, and the all ya for her. And T largely no, with me and my Ghana for and I'm satisfied with and Nyoma okay, and the causes, any solutions, also your short term solutions, medium term solutions, and a long term solutions. In our boss, so Marco, with me, convincing Ghana for. And see, will be some expectation in there. Okay.
Okay, but Doc, listening to the Vice President,
economic management team.
Okay. Doc said, you Vice President, or make comparison be, and especially on fundamentals. Idea, you be son once empire. Or just say, Ghana current fundamentals, one day to say, so crack compared to 2013, 2016. One in the address, Sana Huno, Doc.
Was a question in this side?
Nami bisa say on the issue of fundamentals, on my penny church say between 2013 2016 on beso amembu ni mu no fundamentals etieno and even now as we speak with COVID in Ukraine Russia war ni say na mema din nyina no Ghana economic fundamentals e wa hoden in the period 2013 to 2016 only na adwen.
Okay, so the fundamentals of the economy is not too strong. That one, I should admit. There have been some progress, but the progress is not significant enough to turn things around. But Osho Mampanyika Sanana or the Esusu said the Omano economy before and after COVID. And I'm saying, hold on now, all person fair. Now GDP growth rate, economy. Inflation was in single digits. Interest rate was in the 20s. I think around 21 or 22%. Osha and Yama Brina Kanana economy. And Yama Mienu Anana Ajeno before COVID. Yama Mienu. A year the fiscal position. A year Ghana Yakano plus because also budget deficit and no one about and no one public debt.
Yeah.
People contributed to the public debt. Unemployment. We almost say one factory no Juma, but and also he handled donor to the Bayer amount for the donor being and Juma. And the fundamentals need be there, not a year, the donor na year, but you know be not enquiry no, and they're not enquiry before COVID. Now public debt especially no. Now in the not a canal anymore. And your mammy and son and a public debt before COVID, your mammy and son and a I cannot acquire anymore. The kind of budget deficit. I know you should say about 48% of the public debt, is accounted for by the budget deficit. Just say, where expenditure more than your revenue, and our home Bosnia. and on the budget deficit, it accounted for 48% of the public debt. Yet also, see the depreciation, exchange rate, and also accounted for almost 1/3, that is 28%, almost 1/3 of the public debt. See the accounted for almost 1/3 of the public debt. And yet, Busnia, and yes, Sika, Obiakwa, the onset Ghana Busniana, a fund every year in dollars. And this exchange rate in Guinea. So, for example, the whole Busnia $1,000 there. Exchange rate near 5,000 cities. But the exchange rate no cost 6 there. The same $1,000 maybe make a home, but in city terms, I couldn't name by 1,000.
Yeah.
So I moving from 5,000 to 6,000. And you should move exchange rate also contribute to about 1/3 of the public debt, which is huge, and it's a bad thing. It's a bad situation for the country. There's also means what you call the off-budget borrowing. Minister of Finance, some all kind of budgets not in shame, but I feel because we are not the financial sector cleanup exercise. And I dare also me so the energy that IPP now all can want them.
Yeah.
And to start my way and a canoe before I said COVID the bandia, not Ghana canoe anymore. In fact, who share debt service? I didn't hear fire said the car they could cheer Bustiano and amortization and debt service. Who share Tama Hepic and transmitted Hepic COVID everybody. Now and between 40 and 50%. Interest payments in inquiry, who is the one inquiry, all the total, the revenue, 33% in the year 2018. Now, Osha about 108 countries a year, I should Muna. Now, Ghana, yeah, dear chair, among you, out of 108 countries, now, Ghana, yeah, dear chair, among you, Sri Lanka, and Lebanon. Am I asking no, yeah, dear chair in Ghana? And to start, the fiscal position of the country was bad before the COVID. But the other indicators like exchange rate, interest rate, GDP growth, etc., now they were better, that they were in a good shape, and some are COVID, Again, fiscal position, a year bad. It's Ghana is still a pen or your it's a pa, and the piano, it's a ban of Bobustia. And until I can't say budget deficit, accounting for about 48% of the public debt. And to kind of and yet a ban will a problem. I think NDC was a problem.
Okay.
And a Ghana problem, sir. The kind of not a shot. And the fundamentals, in my conclusion, remarks on this. The fundamentals of the economy have not been that strong.
Okay, Doc, and I just say we cannot entirely blame COVID, for where we are now. We cannot, because any working now, even before COVID. And the blame say COVID, and saying Ukraine Russia war, can't we? It cannot be entirely true. That's that.
Yes, COVID no one who should and America said indicators the doors. GDP growth was better, inflation was better, interest rate was better, primary balance surplus was okay, current account surplus was okay. And no one employment and the fiscal position, public debt and debt service, and then a anti-COVID na say year and COVID na say now Mobia underestimate the effect of COVID. Nobody underestimate the effect of COVID. Over time Ghana the first time you lock it down, Greater Accra, Greater Kumasi, and Kaswa. And these three cities account for more than 80% of our GDP. More than 80% of the GDP. Who lock it down Greater Accra, lock it down Kumasi, and Kaswa for 3 weeks. And remember, sir, Ghana's economy is largely informal. And informal also here interpersonal relations. And so Mobi MP, Mobi Anko School, Mobi Anko sorry, Mobi Anye, Mobi Anko can say beach. In Sunday morning, so no edisika every amount for until lock it down sana and the and a and the president was bold to take that decision because he wanted to save the lives of people, and even if it came at the cost of the economy. And I agree with him because my issue about how I might be responding to COVID. No, Ghana and Ivory Coast, I talked to my on how they responded to the COVID situation. And so the president was prepared to sacrifice the economy for the lives of people. And it was a brilliant, a brilliant policy response. And then, it was a good kind of policy response. But the price we are paying now is the dire situation of the economy. And I'm not saying that the government was wrong. The government was right to do that.
Okay.
But of course, maybe I be a home research. My home research. I'm saying I'm paying. I bet the Jekwa now the fiscal impact of COVID. A year to Castena Abano is impact na COVID no my. Meaning 20%. I use only the year 2020. I got 20% of GDP. The fiscal impact of the economy, per my calculation in the year 2020 alone, amounted to 20% of GDP. Was it for 2 years, 2020 and 2021, he got 17%. And so you should know that 17 was close to 20% because he used 2 years and I used 1 year because I'm an American researcher. That 2021 figures in mind. And to let nobody underestimate the effect of COVID. The point I'm making is that the economy no a far big in a year, not a far big in a year. And a COVID no abe say now there was a need for the government to go ahead of the virus and implement all those policies, even if it came at the cost of the economy. And I agree with them. I don't think I just say that. But I'm sure, sir, things will rise. And especially with the short-term measures, what they can go.
Doc, from where you sit, blames abino anya COVID na Ukraine. We shouldn't underestimate the effect of COVID. But no blame has been taken by the government. So okay, yes, also on our part. There were a few steps I take here. Some way, somehow, a mismanaging economy. No blame not quite COVID in Russia-Ukraine war. Can't the government take any blame from where you sit, Dr. Zakwadie?
Should the government take the blame?
Yeah, no. Yes.
DJ, question is, should the government take the blame?
The government has blamed everything else, COVID, Ukraine, but for itself, say, me as a bino, me to an amount ba kumienu bia, and also so ambwa or mining sikasem. Is it not surprising and quite worrying? It's a borrowing, it's a business ya boy say. Doc.
It should be anybody can say, and you may be over not a year before COVID. And that one you cannot blame it on COVID and you cannot blame it on the Ukraine war. The public debt, any debt service burden, and not a year. So you cannot blame that one on COVID. And employment, and so you might amount for pay or members, not a year, sir, because employment figure now is really and it was around 13%. And see, what you mean blame on COVID? And I'm not COVID mind, so you can't blame that on COVID. And see, I think it should be a shared responsibility.
Okay.
Before COVID, almost we manage some part of the economy, in fact, a greater part of the economy. And COVID never said the IE and they're not in a year, and yes, you blame COVID for the effect, but before COVID, and no man in a year, and yet you cannot blame COVID for that.
Okay.
And so I think the government position should be that they should admit that and number 1, 2 be not a year before COVID, and number 2, 3, 4 be they're not a year before COVID. Now government not a good to our main year. And I'm about to watch now.
Yeah.
And it should be a shared responsibility. They can't push everything on COVID. They can't. They cannot push everything on COVID.
All right.
But a greater part of it, but the money, the money, sometimes it's a balance as in said. Time COVID and also we almost in your go almost 100 billion about Tampa care program.
Yeah.
Time almost in your go say okay, COVID now best economy crash. After COVID in a year recover. And then a boom, Ukraine war is so best and sometimes I pity I have some sympathy for the government because it's so painful. That if you are West dying, and then not a chair and then from a buegu. And I said, okay, me say CBU. Who says it then? Oh, none of them from us have a boo and swagoo. And see, where they are, Obin Tiaster, because of how we lazy, when you say, oh, yes, and see, say, but communication should be clear. They should tell Ghanaians that. Na omo ye bibi ana Ukraine war so aba na Ukraine war so no we are seeing now TJ And yes, Ukraine war, Russia-Ukraine war, the effect is on Russia, no any Ukraine. We are seeing now whoever trades with the two countries is affected. So, and not in a price. First example, a crude oil price. I buy budget this year, budget is $62 per barrel. Menoka says over $100 per barrel. And no, I buy no, it's one banana. There be the Russia-Ukraine war, and so that part of increment in food no dear. And yeah, buy no, you're paying to fast one mono. Yeah, the book, kind of say it will be from the effect of the Russia-Ukraine war. And yes, fertilizer as we are for Inyano. If you buy no Subuana, there be a war no. Iron war, amount for and the materials, dye materials, metals, amount for this iron sheet, iron rust near dinner. Umunya ne boy den no. And I buy na there be the best war no because a war on this effect yaba. A price of wheat, bread, any flour, the na bo kosra, enya ban na ma bo na kosro, a war no. But the beer you bet me blame a buy ya ban we ko bet me blame Ghana buy about ko na ye say. Ye intimi anye domestic production as a substitute for those imports. And you two oil or Ghana, I mean, you sure say fertilizer, no, you petrochemical, products anymore. I don't think you two oil or Ghana, and you need to I kind of say, I see na cano, and your fertilizer. Okay, so our reliance, our over reliance, and our dependence on imports, and on our high, and yet I buy a problem. A problem, since 1911, God's best time, since 1911. And so we must industrialize and resolve all those issues. And just that you become the same problem. Now you resolve it.
Okay, Doc, my son bisa we at the Makuma Sopa. And kwasi da ben. And I say one mind, you I rely on a mind binom near my bobo. In fact, Emra, not me monitor international media. Countries like Germany and USA, almost require internally. Me, I am self-reliant. I mean, some natural gas, oil, crude oil, we are a sovereign nation. Since 1911, for how long can we keep depending on Russia, Ukraine? Doc.
Your long-term solution, Emma, and depreciate. Revenue or memo is to industrialize. That is the only way out. That is why President Nkrumah saw the need to industrialize when he took over power. Because she realized that was the only way out for us to industrialize. Now, see, go to that bay. Because we not scratching the surface of the problem. No, now we not scratching the surface of the problem. And I don't blame the politicians so much. I blame them. I don't blame them too much because, yes, political system, not democracy, they are 4 years. Industrialization, so you need about 25 to 30 years before you can have effective industrialization. You need decades to transform your economy. And you have 4 years at them. Now, what am I about the 4 years? On the first year, or the transition, or they appointing the ministers, and then in Yoma. First, second, and third year, no one of the beer. Last year, no another election. Now, politicians be also in the next election. They all think about the next election. You see, I mean, people are talking about breaking the 8. 2024, but they are talking about breaking the 8 because every politician, NDC, MPP, DPP, they are thinking about the next election. And see, your democracy, your political systems have 4 year cycle. And what? And see, way back, no, I basically factory back up. Now, 4 years now, so Ghana for 20, no, now we so bad no abesi baako no okọ baako mienu there as a market time no there boa kra the here industrialization drive boom be a 10-year period 15 years 20 years now you see factory be fertilizer you see factory be my wheat you see factory be my rice you see factory be my say even a broker the year more cry a bro maize and corn cry kra. And the amount of money, and I was saying, me and the break, near industrialization drive. That is why I was so happy about the 1 district 1 factory. In fact, in 2016, when I read the manifesto of MPP, I was very happy about the 1 district 1 factory. But I say, I mean, no, there are about 216 districts and Amebwa.
Yes.
Factory said no mercy. I'm sorry, it's around 100. Emu dia hina ya functional. Enti also mututu mrika. Problem is so. Oba ye bi but isa. Or say mututu mrika. Tenka me pa mu dia me suggestion is say. Enka yenye 8 years because already no crowd. Ye to aba ma obi a ye nim say ba me so be ko 8 years. Enti na ye say oman sika sa ko elections 4 years. When we know that the person will by all means stay in power for 8 years.
Doc, finally, famra digitalization, no, as in fact, ojina hot chair pa. Na mami family no na me that's what for instance, mobile money interoperability, amampenya be the church say as at 2016. Na sika revenue free mobile money mu somewhere around 78.5 billion. 2021, you recorded 978.3 billion. That's a revenue in free with the introduction of the mobile money interoperability. And then Passport Office 2017, Passport Office processed 16,232 applications. Revenue minus a 1.1 million. Abayi baye digitize for coin so near the 498,963 online applications and a passport office for mu revenue no 556.7 million Ghana cedis. Now ye bisa sasika when ye sika kitwa o amai mu haya na sasika no ewo. Have we been able to manage these revenues properly and even is it even justifiable? Doc, na im nja kwan.
Yes, digitization space, the whole economy is going digital. And it's a open revenue. It's the digital space, the whole revenue. And into that e-levy, I've written a whole article on it to support the e-levy. Because because the whole economy, everybody is going digital. It's open card, you go digital, or passport office, and over economy be a digital, a DVL, over be a digital, always time. Now I Oko hospital and maybe be a computer near and a port to her. I'm telling my penny so I there with this digitization drive. We can't run away from it. That is the new order. The new world order is the digitization. So we can't run away from it. But you've raised a good point. Says the revenue no. I couldn't know the other day. It's a drop in the ocean and also 1.1 billion there. Open be at 70 and 900 billion now we are 1.5 and also but at least you make me try kaka na emma yentimi independent on borrowing that biara and so the critical point now is to make sure that digitization is linked to revenue generation. Also loopholes ne why na yaka da biara no so kaso bi ko physical cash as you obedi the so obi timi kukuru bag kese na okọ makola market to ko jeje tools obedi but a digital be a short code be *14 whatever hash na wo di atua wa year me sure say obi can say corruption in that area no and so we should be able to raise the needed revenue from the digital space and manage it well.
Okay.
See, I manage it especially with the e-levy about project to Obenya about 6 billion. There should be something to show for it. We should be prudent in the management. That they almost have bread and some more passing. So man show man find a development project be I'm Ghana for who said when you're there. Somebody Ghana for him and next time so got some budget to be I mean sure Ghana for be few. And the prudent management of the finance. May sure say we there and idea the crowd mechanic say I buy now money bro mo bread and some of which convince the Ghanaians about the passage of the e-levy. And you wait there over to you, I'm sure that they have learned their lessons and going forward, all governments, MPP, and whoever wins the next election or whoever is in power will be so prudent. And I thank the media. I like the way the civil society organization and the media are always interrogating things and putting the government on its toes. May you sure that with time, as time goes on,
okay,
we can get the best from our revenue.
All right. Doc, my name is Nnawotwe fancy ha. As always, we are grateful. Yeah, that's a power. Dr. Edu Owusu akode ene no atwetwe nkomo no oyo pani ba kwa wa bin sekase mu pa na wono so de adwenche de aba stay with us on Facebook, Adom TV on Facebook, na fe Asempa 94.7 FM at Asempa 94.7 FM and so Facebook. Me introduce you mpenifo ene many womo eba bidi juma on my far left director in charge of IT for the NDC. Me ame wofa nimpompa ofa Ose Kwame Griffith ona Oshe Fuga. Yeah. Owaha I'm saying Chebia na ba, right? Nnawotwe mienu ni. Yeah, but because of enakoye digitalization into na asan so atwe ya de wa ba akwaba. Ya da so. And afi near otim finfin the member of parliament for Botiano English among from Honorable Sylvester Tete. Sly. Bia boko there. Honorable Sylvester Tete ye ka say nsuo afa no. Video boko there Sly. My NG first comment, but what would the end there? Because of anyone you see constituency, I would want to touch, want you to touch a bit on that. Nafi, or say Kwame so the crash also nafi a train home by a bar. Nafi, I bet you chunkomo. Honorable.
Yo, me don't say. My main chair, ashefo ni etifo nyina anope. Me nua penny.
Process of affixing address plates.
So. Also, about propaganda and open. Watch Doctor Kasena for the big class here, or the big class here. And the baby, you know, not needing a jury. A jury go. Now, a branch, I did it. Oh, yeah, dear white monkey, and economy, they are no pen wow, because maybe I feel bad, no, how true. Namichia, me man for. Manya wo moni madom se mesom wo mo se wo mo mrahye bidwani anopei dodo na woni ho aka e wo nsuo kese a etoye in fact enra wo hwe de e course enra menim say it's expected because ye hono the topology of the place anytime nsuo beto na e de so boni aba Yakoso ekai baby akwanye do na nra they were cut off want to me access to homes a very difficult situation for me nra made the pictures be a church and na commitment ahodo aba indeed we share ejuma MPP abanya here in terms of road infrastructure in sa constituency no obetumi and the say say yaboye homebody. But even that is a tip of the iceberg. Osha baby if eba need the enye na ya akobeka say you be tempted so be bo o mampenya baso rightly so be bo na baso nemo we need more a whole area access roads no anyhow and the biggest problem today is the Accra Takoradi highway. It is not under the management of the municipal assembly, it is really under the management of Ghana Highway Authority. Enti Oshe Atala, maybe a friend Atala old Adom FM, Omahine.
Last year we were there,
yes, Omobaye program.
Adom TV,
eba Yadima contractor say onyesa ejumano. Or started ejumano. You started by changing the service lines because only a main road into all the service lines, no, insure, telephone, electricity, any number. Replace service lines. Now I was a contractor. No, of course, ye Juman Sana rains here. Ye experience answer ebeba. One to me and ye.
I didn't want to me.
Nina eyesikasem. Most of the Juma ye wahano ye pre-finance and Sana wa raise certificate. Na yatumi aye Jumano. And now me ne ukase. Ochina Monday echo. I want to do a follow up. The extent of work awa ye certificate I will raise it. When ye be fast wa. Bet me I continue a Juman. Because the expectation was that yes Juma in a dry season and Sana is no better. It is no better no nanka and kofa problem bia amba. 1 year more coin enye we call a Jasco all the way to Red Top and Ra. With the pictures show we see film. Now I've had calls from Penny4 who really matters. The idea ma follow up because for immediate term ma tumia pushy about 25 kilometers of roads. And no say that is the entire road network in the constituency. But that 25 kilometers of roads, no, ebema timamufo ehombe hinhan wo mukakra. So mima obi bia ne ho aka bia no. I sympathize with them. Now they know me as their MP. I haven't slept 1 year, 3 months in office. I be pushy for the road network. But I mean, say the road minister has given me, but I'm going to push the road minister to personally visit the area because
say
a special intervention. That constituency, it is the second biggest municipality in the whole of Greater Accra and the 5th in the country. South. It is the second biggest municipality in Greater Accra and the 5th in the entire country. So it tells you we're well over 400,000 residents in that municipality. Constituency has over 111,000 registered voters. So it tells you the population in there. It's a special intervention. I mean, you say the road minister, I mean, number of MPs in parliament are more visit here. And the Hong Kong members of parliament are from both majority and minority are multi constituency. They are well over 18. Including ministers and deputy ministers are also constituency. So everybody knows what I'm talking about. And I think, sir, Mebo Obi to say Kennedy Japan Abaso, Mebo Obi to say Miami sister, Cynthia Mamle Morrison. And consistently they've joined forces with me to push the road minister for a special intervention road project in that constituency. I met that Adom FM, so I say, you've consistently been with me. Now, I'm a producer, Dominic. And Dominic Frame is honorable. Dominic is he lives in the constituency. Yeah. It's a terrible situation. I'm not
honorable about two spots.
Yes.
That spot between Block Factory and SCC.
Yes.
Between Atala Honoma ADB Bank. No,
that's right.
I have been there.
Yeah.
In Shona, a free Atala stretch ho a chem everything caught down honor rank of 40. I don't know. And then other spots you see in Shona maybe Asamoah
old barrier
old
thankfully me Casas is here Asamoah stretch of the road has been fixed. You do a tripa resident no bet me the one does a contract and in we afina oye surfacing no in general we say insurito and obi the pictures na me say thankfully on we adwuma no oguso a oye
okay
why base no na dey why drains bibia ye base was a continue we so me gidi say how there we don't have a problem be what problem pa tobut we do tobus pass and we do tobut ho and insu e fistro ho nyina and the problem is say omo mine the pono for road construction by CP, I was told, some 20 years ago. Now, it is not for nothing, and here was vegetation, I was a cover people. No. And now, I say, the people has been mined, and some illegal miners.
Honorable, video I actually see here, Atala Honomo.
Yes, Atala Honomo. I remember, this was the last year picture, sir.
No, yes,
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Last year, it was the same. So, as in fact, hydro department contractor my expectation was that this job has been completed. That is the biggest problem. And they will call a resident. I was going to go on a tour, but I decided as a member program way, I will have the opportunity to speak more to it. Yamin Chadie, in Penifua Hudwa, Medi to platform, I had calls from senior members of government. I believe, sir, very soon, maybe Monday or Tuesday, the road minister will be visiting the constituency. And I'll be pleading with my brother, Asensu Boachi, to equally pay a working visit to the place. Because these drain projects are under the hydro department of the Ministry of Works and Housing. Amijidi said, Onosu can make an intervention. Yesterday, he personally acknowledged these things with whom were a platform. So idea me because we share resident. Meaning say we cost for resident be our hobby to ni sanuka. Terrible.
Honorable, say a dime business to make way.
Of course,
because the volumes of water. Anyway, but me ma kwa na so kakaka na fi.
Anytime there's a disaster, as a nation, we should be able to put politics aside and, look at the problem and, without political lens and what have you, more or less recommend solutions and sympathize with or more.
Yeah.
Or more come one way or the other. And I think, sir, I will strongly urge the government abandoning crime, sir. And say a normal wire day, I'm a road contractors of Marketiano, Bebrea Ketri. But where there's a special problem, say, and abandoning channel no man special attention.
And many
Nah,
because already rainy season now, I don't know what can be done around this time.
And then no so nan chain. Ofre rainy season na ye nya kra en hyase ye papa. Na you be kan see yet tiabete no na ne cha. Won se e kukuro mponi ne ye be de ye be so. Se yetna ho na aginsem na bia nipa bi ahwere won kwa aya na emwo man no. Enti animanim ha we de adesre se aban panifo entwe wani hwe ho na enye ho nko aso so ba bia what similar problems no I'm not really sure where else na ho nyina no nka ye map up all those areas no na intentem ya ye mfa nyoma ngwa kwam na ye save situation ma ho.
Okay, all right, eti ma yamfa no konkon ho ansa na fe yentwe ho ma ye ba na what you do media you better so me na ma bedwafo ye wa ha. There's a huge conversation coming up. Stay with us. Yabasisia.